What's going on, everybody? Normally, I would say welcome back to the realms of metal, but I'm not fucking doing that today. We got Rhevok for Vermithrax from Mordant Rhed in the house, and he's gonna do the intro because nobody fucking does it better than him.
Right.
What's going on, man? It's so good to have you on. It's so good to talk to you instead of like going like this all the time, you know?
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. We've been talking through Instagram and everything, but yeah, it's cool. Definitely, I was looking forward to doing this shit because you what was it? You commented on a video or something. Oh, I ordered the demo or the CD. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Then we started talking, and I started watching your videos, and I started watching your channel. I was like, this motherfucker is like the Casey Kasem of fucking death metal.
Well, I'm a big Vincent Crowley fan. I know you are too, right? So
Yeah.
he had mentioned you on a couple of his videos before you actually did the interview with him. He mentioned you like, and then when you did the interview with him, that's how I got turned on to your channel. And then I saw you also did a tribute to Asheron, which was fucking awesome. So
Yeah.
thanks to Vincent Crowley, that got me turned on to your channel. So
Very cool. But yeah, it's I started watching your videos, and all you motherfuckers that are watching, because from my channel here, you just either subscribe to this fucking channel because there's some good shit on here.
and same here, my subscribers, please check out the Mordant Rhed channel. Entertaining as fuck, knowledgeable as fuck. You're doing that horror and heavy metal series. You just did part 3. You dropped it yesterday. What
Yeah.
what made you want to do that? I know heavy metal and horror go hand in hand in your book, but what made you want to make videos on that?
Well, it's just I'm sure you can relate. Everybody from the '80s first got into heavy metal, and also it's to me, I looked at fucking metal as an extension of horror because got into horror movies as a kid.
Yep.
Dracula, Universal Monsters, Hammer horror, and shit like that. And then graduating, then I saw, well, actually, from there, and then my dad had the Black Sabbath Paranoid 8-track, and he would play that. I thought it was so cool. And then from there, in the early '80s, I was watching wrestling, and the Road Warriors used to come to the ring to the song Iron Man. And yeah, and it is just went hand in hand. But yeah, to answer your question about the video, yeah, I just wanted to do something to kind of piece it together, because video horror and metal have always gone hand in hand together. Yeah. And it's comical when I posted those videos, a lot of people were commenting, well, yeah, you should have added this and you should have added this. And yes, there was a shitload of other stuff I could have added, but the stuff I chose was stuff that affected me as a kid, at that time when it was new. Yep. I mean, there was a lot of other stuff I could have included, but I just wanted to pick stuff that was relevant when I was a child.
And that's kind of what I go back to too. You had those memories as a kid of shit that affected you, like horror movies that really fucked you up as a kid, like The Exorcist and Amityville. And when I was a kid, I grew up in northern New Jersey, right? And there was we were poor. Like I had a single mom, 2 kids, right? So I had like a little black and white TV in my room. And on the weekends, like on a Sunday, they used to do this horror marathon on WPIX. It was channel 11 by us. And they used to play like The Exorcist, and they were all edited. They took all the, the graphic stuff out. But just as a kid, I mean, 6, 7 years old, like that shit really affected me. Like I saw, like I said, The Exorcist, Amityville, like all that stuff, and it scared the shit out of me. And then like I would sleep over my aunt and uncle's house, and they had HBO. So then I would watch movies like, remember The Entity from the early 80s?
Yes.
With that
Barbara
demon
Hershey
stalking that woman, right? Like that.
Yeah, like, she's getting raped on it.
That and those are the movies that hit me the hardest, like because it was almost like a realness to it between The Exorcist and The Entity. It's like, oh shit, demons are real and they could be coming after me, and it scared the shit out of me.
Well, yeah, it's I can relate because I also saw Exorcist as a child. So obviously, I was born in '74. You're 73.
75.
Yeah. 70. Okay, so same difference. So I didn't see it at the theater, but after when it was shown on regular TV, it had to have been like 80, 81, and I saw that shit, and I definitely shouldn't have seen that as a kid because it really fucked me up. Because honestly, I'm sure you are too, very desensitized to horror movies now. But when I watched the first Exorcist, it still does a certain thing to me. It gives me a certain feeling, that's for sure.
Yeah. There's
no question about it.
Still give that, especially the ones I saw as a kid. I'm sure you feel the same way,
It's funny too. Some of the stuff you saw as a kid scared you, but you watch it now and it ain't shit. But Exorcist still does something to me.
Does.
Another movie is The Manitou. You remember that shit? I talked about it in one of those videos, I think,
You
with his.
did. That's one of the ones I was going to ask you about. I've never seen that one.
It's got Tony Curtis on there and Burgess Meredith. That movie scared the shit out of me as a kid, but now I watch it now, I'm like,
Yeah,
it's
right.
fucking corny as shit. A little fucking midget Indian on there. It's good. I mean, it's a good movie to watch, but it's not scary at all. But
Yeah, yeah.
it's fucking comical shit.
The one I really want to watch that you mentioned, I don't know if it was from the 20s or the 30s, was Hoxton. Like the imagery
Oh
that
yeah,
you showed on your channel, like was
yeah,
amazing. Like I got to check that out.
yeah. That's a good. I mean, from the silent era, but of course the best part is when they show in hell and they show this whole scene. It's so creative, especially for the time period it was shot. And lots of black metal bands have used clips of that in their videos stuff. I mean, it would be cool, but wouldn't do it because it's already been done so many times. But yeah, Hoxton, it's you should definitely check it out. If anything, just to watch the scene where they go to hell because
Okay.
it's such a great visual experience on that part.
I got to check that out. And then the other one was the Incubus that I really got to check out. That looked pretty good.
It is. That's another one too. I saw as a kid, and I talked about the scene. It's about that demon going around raping people. I guess everything was always about rape,
Right?
but that scene where they go into the theater, they're watching that Saxon video. I mean, not Saxon, Samson,
Yeah.
not Saxon, Samson. Bruce Dickinson, pre-Iron Maiden,
Yep.
which at the time I didn't know what Saxon or Samson was, none of that shit, but thought it was cool. And then I saw the drummer with the fucking mask on playing drums, thought it was real cool. And they keep clipping back and forth from scenes of the band and the girl getting raped in the bathroom. Pretty fucked up. But that Samson stuff on there is from a short movie they made called Biceps of Steel. It's about 15, 20 minutes long. It's pretty funny, but you can watch that. It's on YouTube.
That just
It's worth
reminded me of
watching.
speaking of women getting raped. Remember Humanoids from the Deep?
Oh yeah, yeah. That's another one I watched. I liked watching it for the nudity, but there was also a very just unsettling feeling to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the horror movies I like. I like supernatural shit. I like stuff about demons and devils. Like that's the stuff that's
Yeah,
right up my alley. I'm not into like the human perversity type of stuff. You and Vincent went back and forth on the Serbian film, and I had never seen it. So of course I had to check it out, and I started watching it. And I got to be honest with you, man, I couldn't even get through it. I got to the point where the woman was giving birth in the room,
yeah.
and
That right there.
that was it. I was done, man. I was done.
Yeah, you see that right there. Of course, because everybody wants me to do a review of that. Because after I did that interview with Vincent Crowley, you need to watch it. We want to hear your review on it. And yeah, I like grotesque stuff, but that right there, that was. I don't want to use any certain language to make because the algorithm will pick this up like it's some fucking sicko shit. But
Yeah.
there was that clip, and there was something at the end too. Because I watched the whole thing, and I'll never watch it again. It was pretty fucked up. But yeah, that scene right there.
My feeling was, and I didn't watch it, so I'm just going to ask you. My feeling was the brother had something to do with it at the end. Am I right?
Correct.
All right, that's I was onto something. So
Yes, he did, and there was a sickening scene at the end with the whole family involved,
oh shit,
and
yeah,
yeah, you see that there's certain things like I like fucked up movies like Cannibal Holocaust and
yeah,
the real graphic shit like that. But
yeah.
these days, some stuff though like that,
Oh yeah, I can't do that.
I'm not. I mean, even the guitarist for Mordant Rhed, he had seen it before. I said, "What do you think about that?" Before I watch it, and he went,
Yeah.
I said, "Don't tell me. Just let me go watch it." And yeah, it's I don't know. I like gory shit, but some that stuff was
That's over the top.
yeah. I don't. There's that I don't know. Yeah, that's fucking gross shit. I
How
like gross
about
shit, but
how about some of the newer movies, like modern movies? What's your favorite modern horror? Did you see the new Exorcist, and what'd you think of it? That Believer.
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it.
That,
I got to be
that
honest with you. Maybe it's because I had no expectations of it, but I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was decent. But like I said, I thought it was going to be complete dog shit, and maybe
yeah.
that's why I liked it. But I mean, you check it out. But let me
Yeah,
know
I
what you
do want
think.
to
But
see
I
it.
liked it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard some people tell me it's crap. Some people say it's good. So I just have to see it for myself. As far as modern horror, actually something I think did I stand correct on one of your recent videos? You ordered a bunch of shit, and did you order the soundtrack for Christmas, Bloody Christmas?
I got it. I just got it. Yeah.
That is a fucking great movie,
Great movie.
man. When I saw you order the soundtrack, I was, oh shit, it's a good soundtrack too.
It
It's
is.
synth based,
Yep.
but that movie there, it has gore in it and whatnot, but it still felt like a fun movie.
Yeah, it
And
was fun.
the thing about it, what I really liked about that is the way it was shot, the colors and aesthetics. It
Yes.
was so that guy, who was Joe Begos, I think is the director.
I don't know.
He did such a great juxtaposition of using Christmas colors of green and red, and also with dark blues, where it felt very festive, but also like a horror movie altogether.
Totally agree. Totally agree.
And also, what I liked about it too is a lot of times I don't like heavy dialogue movies, but all the dialogue that was on there, I could relate to it. The fucking girl had the record store. They were talking about music and stuff, and they were getting drunk, and just the way it was very relatable.
I dig that one a lot.
Yeah, it was a good. It was.
You talked about The Witch. As a modern horror movie, I love The Witch. I love the whole feeling and atmosphere of The Witch. Great movie. And it's a movie where evil wins in the end, and I always like those.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's a good movie. Very good vibe to it, and I'm looking forward to seeing his remake of Nosferatu.
Yeah.
So if there was if I heard they were doing a remake of that, I would be like, yeah, this is gonna fucking suck. But since this guy's doing, I can't remember the director's name, but since he's doing it,
Aster or something like that. Was that the guy? So I forget his name. I could be wrong, but
yeah. But as far as him,
Hereditary? Do you like Hereditary?
Yes, I do like that. Yes,
I love that.
Yes, yeah. Actually, you know what? Most people that I know that are really into horror, everybody unanimously like that movie.
Yeah,
because it's a good, solid ass movie for sure.
I feel like that one deserves a prequel because, like, when you hear Annie, and remember she's sitting in a circle and she's talking about her mom's death, and she's going into like the history of her family, and she's saying, "Oh, my dad starved himself to death, and my brother killed himself because he claimed that my mother was trying to put people inside him." Like that deserves a prequel, in my opinion. That'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that movie is pretty well received. I mean, so I would think something like that would eventually happen. I would hope, because it's a good fucking solid movie.
Plus, Toni Collette is a great actress. Like, holy shit.
Actually,
Remember the scene where she's on the fucking floor and she's just crying out because she lost her daughter? Like, that's a gut-wrenching scene, man. Like, she does a great job.
I know. Actually, I need to rewatch that because I watched it when it first came out and I loved it. And it's time for a revisiting of it for sure.
I watch that every now and again, man. I love that.
Yeah. It's good. It's not so new. It's been a few years now. A movie I really liked. It wasn't gory or anything. Was The Babadook.
Yeah, that was good, right?
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't gory, but it was very creepy. Had a very cool aesthetic to it.
Yep.
Yeah. And the soundtrack on that, the score is really good too.
And I think of The Void is another one. You like The Void?
Yes. Man, just the way that movie starts out there in that fucking hospital. Was it a hospital or was it
it was police a hospital, station? Yeah.
Okay. And they look outside and all those fucking robed motherfuckers are standing out there, man. Yeah. That's
and then when they went down into that basement, right? It's like a Cannibal Corpse album cover. Like, there's all fucking grotesque shit all over the place, and that was amazing.
Yeah, there's just like even with metal, there's so many new good bands and good movies, but it's just so much that I very selective of what I pick. So when it comes to movies, I try to be very selective on that because I just don't have the time to lay around and watch movies all the time. So when I do, I want to make sure it's well worth it.
And speaking of horror in the 80s, I don't know how you felt about it. I mean, not metal, but the Thriller video.
Yeah, it was cool.
Totally. Yeah. Like, especially with Vincent Price on it, like, it gives it like instant credibility,
Yes.
Like, it really was really well done. And that was another thing that kind of affected me as a kid. I mean, I know it was goddamn Michael Jackson, but still, when he turned into the werewolf, it was scary as fuck for me as a kid.
Yeah. I know it's funny you mentioned that because what was it? That was 84, I think, when that came out. So when I remember watching on MTV when they kept making a big hoopla about it. Okay, this is the Thriller video. And when it finally debuted and I watched it, because I didn't give a shit about Michael Jackson, that music. fucking crap to me. But well, I mean, it's okay, but it's just not my thing. But I saw the video was debuted, so let's check this out. I remember as a kid watching it, and that werewolf scene, he starts transforming. And for a split second, I kind of got, wait, this is kind of scary. What did I get myself into? And but I kept watching it. But for a split second, I was getting kind of scared.
Oh, that kind of scared me as a kid. You know?
That's
so horror movies aside, let's talk about your band for a minute. So Mordant Rhed, you guys have been around since what, 2017? Am I right?
Yeah.
And how did that come together? Like, you were in other bands before Mordant Rhed, or was this your first band, or what's your history of being a musician?
We've been in bands my whole fucking life, and then even all the guys in the band, Mordant Rhed, I've known for 30 some odd years. So it's not like it's the other guys I'm in the band with. They've been in other bands together and known each other forever. So that's why it's an easy thing, and everybody has the same fucked up sense of humor, and everybody. Also, too, what's key is everybody in the band is not just like, oh, I love fucking black metal and Beherit and Blasphemy. That's all I listen to. No, everybody in the band likes punk rock. We like fucking thrash. We like hardcore.
That makes a more well-rounded metal fan, in my opinion, when you like a lot of different genres, you know, so.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're never arguing about how to write a song because we all have the same taste. So if something starts sounding kind of more death metal, oh, that sounds kind of like fucking Autopsy. Well, fuck it, you know, whatever.
Like
so
that,
it's just
that intro, well, the opening riff, The Hatred of Humanity, like sticks in my head. Like, like I love that. Like, it's such a good riff, man. It sticks in my head. Love that.
Yeah, it's when the guitarist was playing around with the riff. I said, this is total like first wave black metal, like fucking Celtic Frost kind of shit.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I said, we need to use this as a song. And we put it together, and it's like, yeah. That make a goddamn video for that motherfucker, and people seem to like it.
Yeah, but you got some great stuff. You know, the 15 Winners, Children's Spider Creek, all fucking great stuff. I can't wait until you put out a full length, and hopefully you press it on vinyl.
Well, yeah, we're working on a full length right now. It's so we're doing it with Goat Throne Records, which is they're a pretty fucking good label. They've been around for a while, put out a lot of shit, and they actually just out of nowhere, I got an email from them and said, "Hey, you want to do something?" And it's like, oh, sounds good. Called them, talked to him on the phone, and kind of went from there. Because prior to this, I had a kind of a verbal conversation with Hell's Headbangers about doing something on that, but if you watch his videos, you know that they're backed up.
He's way backed
up. I know. So if we did something, it wouldn't be until like 2025, which I still would like to do something with them. But I mean, I don't want to. I mean, we technically could still just keep releasing stuff on our own, which we've done pretty well selling it. But I think the next progression is to get on a label to start getting us some proper distribution, because the YouTube channel and whatnot only goes so far.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, that's what we're working on now, trying to get a fucking full length. And about the vinyl, so the first part he wants to do CD and cassette, and then possibly down the road record, whatever. Mm-hmm. But regardless, if not, we may even do like a 7-inch or something on our own, just self-press it or something, because we want to do vinyl too.
Awesome. Now, in one of your live streams, you said that you said how you came up with the band name Mordant Rhed, and I tried to go back and watch it, and like I couldn't find it. It was either gone or whatever. But I think you were doing a live on it. How'd you come up with the name Mordant Rhed, and where'd it come from?
That's a good question, and I wish I had a visual aid here, because I have it back in the early '90s. When people were buying demos and trading stuff, I would get demos, get compilations, and there was this. Have you ever heard of the famous? Well, he's pretty famous. Death metal artist, Mark Riddick.
Mark Riddick, no.
If you've seen his art, he's done shitload of album covers, whatever. But back then, he was putting out these compilations of different bands, and this is back when how I first heard of bands like Exhumed and Cyanide, Nunslaughter. I heard from these compilations. This was like 92, I believe. And he had these compilations, and they were called Gore Mordant.
Okay.
Like Gore Mordant.
Yep.
I always thought that was a cool word. And then all these years later, I thought, let's make a band with that and use the word red, but then put an H in there. So it's not just a typical, because if you look up Mordant Rhed, there is an actual chemical substance called that or some shit. But yeah, that's where it is. And also, what's fucking funny too, one day I get an order on Bandcamp, and that Mark Riddick actually ordered one of our CDs.
Did he really?
Yeah, and I don't know if he knew the deal was. I messaged back, hey, and I explained it to him, and he didn't write back, but it's fine. But he did, comments on the channel and says he likes the shit. So nice. Hey, it's kind of like full circle, because that it was those compilations. Because at that time, 91, 92, I knew a lot of underground shit, but then I was really starting to get into the deeper stuff, not just besides the Earache, Road Racer, Nuclear Blast shit. There was the other stuff, and those two compilations were pretty influential. And actually, I did a video on those a year or so ago about old death metal compilations, and those were on there. I could have had a visual aid and showed the tape on here, but it's in the bin back there. But yeah, that's where it came from.
Yeah, the ones I remember were those Death is Just the Beginning compilations. Like I used to have all those back in the day too. That's where I got turned on to a lot of bands. The Nuclear Blast stuff anyway, but
yeah. The Death is Just the Beginning, and also at Death's Door.
Yes, that was the RC one, right?
Yes. That was some good fucking shit. But this one, Mordant Rhed, this was like just dubbed cassettes with a homemade fucking cover he made at the fucking copy place. It wasn't anything pressed. It was just him making them out of his fucking house. But it was cool stuff, man. And Nun Slaughter and Cyanide, all these bands. Grand Belial's Key was on there. And these bands are still around today, which is crazy.
Yeah. Speaking of Hell's Headbangers, I really think that he's got the best site as far as domestically here in the States when it comes to, selection and pricing and shipping and all that. Like, I don't think anybody comes close. He's got the best one going. Like, I order from him a lot. Yeah,
I do too. It's they have just about anything you want. They have it for the most part, but it's a pretty damn good selection. And actually the other day I just ordered from him. I saw that it's a bootleg that. There you go. Yeah.
You know how he packs his boxes very uniquely, right?
Yeah, he does. And that's good though. So the corners of the records don't get bent up and shit. But yeah, recently I ordered that Thy Kingdom Come Morbid Angel demo. They pressed it on it was a bootleg vinyl. So
was it a picture disc? I saw it. I saw it on there. Yeah.
It's good. I mean, of course, I'm sure I've already heard it. I already know it. I have it on a cassette somewhere, but it was a cool bootleg, so I had to pick it up.
I'm looking for, I have it on CD, but the Abominations of Desolation, the one that was supposed to be the first Morbid Angel record, I'm looking for that on vinyl, but no.
We'll see I have it over there.
Do you really? Yeah.
Yeah, it's the one that's on the Satanic Records pressing.
Yep.
Whatever the fuck. It's good. It's really funny because back when I first heard that, I liked that way better than Altars of Madness.
It's much more raw. I'll give you that. You know?
But I listen to it now, and I don't know. Altars of Madness is fucking great. I don't know. It's like I changed now because that's a great, just unrelenting death metal. It's almost black metal-ish if you really think about it. Yeah.
I love the intro on Abominations of Desolation when he's doing those chants and he's trying to invoke the demons. Like that's fucking killer stuff right there.
Yeah, it is good, really good. I know Earache was it Earache? They did a pressing of it where it had like a grayish cover. It was I think they did it on vinyl too. I never got that one. I just have the Satanic Records pressing, whatever.
I got the CD. I'd have to pull it out, but I think you're right on that.
Yeah, I remember it had like a grayish cover. The one that I have is a black and white cover. Oh, I'm surprised I found it this quick. Let me see this goddamn camera.
It's what happened in and out.
Fuck it. I got this background shit. I should just turn the goddamn thing off. Kind of aggravating, but yeah, this is a good fucking record. It's got that black and white image of the demons raping that woman, which if you have the CD, that picture is on I think in the inside or the back or something like that.
Mine came in like a box set. It was like a black box, the CD, and it had like patches and shit in there too.
Oh, that's cool.
I still got that somewhere.
Oh, that's cool. And that too, I know that's older, but what I also like these days is people are going out of their way these days to do cool packaging, because that's also too, because in this room, you can't see, I got this background, it's full of fucking records in there, just like you. I see your background.
Yep.
So I'm very selective of what I buy because you run out of fucking space.
I know.
I'm about to buy a new house or something.
Especially with the vinyl, man. It takes up so much space.
But what I'm getting to is when I buy a record, it's got to be something really cool with some cool packaging, like Nuclear War. Now they do really cool, and their vinyl. They usually come with posters or books inside there, or whatever. So it makes it well worth it to buy it.
I watched your Celtic Frost unboxing of that box set. That is killer, and that was probably expensive as fuck, right?
Yeah, it was about $200 or some shit like that. That was one of those days. I still remember being a bunch of people were out doing the not a good thing of day drinking, and we were downtown where the record store was at. Hey, let's stop by here real quick. And I had already did a shot in the car, and I walked in there and saw it, and fuck it, I'll buy it. And then got home and thinking, what the fuck did I buy this shit for? But it was worth it, though.
Yeah, it
was worth it. There's a lot of cool stuff in there, so I don't regret it. There was another box set that I wanted to buy, but I just couldn't. It was like 200 something bucks. Was that new Anal Cunt box set? I know Hell's Head. Hell's Headbangers didn't put it out, but they had it. But I don't need 4 LPs of that shit. It all sounds the same for the most part, you know, screaming. But they had this cool ass book that came with it. I'm like, man, can I just buy the book? Here, I'll give you fucking $30. Maybe buy the book. I don't need all the other shit because I got all the original 7 inches. I don't need LPs of just all the demos of just blasting and screaming. I like it, but I don't need 4 LPs of it.
Now, what was like growing up? Like, what were the bands that made you a metalhead? Were certain bands, were certain records? Like, what was the record that you heard that said, fuck, I'm all in right now? This is it.
As I mentioned before, Black Sabbath, the Paranoid, but the one that really just, there was a little era where this 83, when my dad bought Shout at the Devil, Motley Crue, and that's the album that like kind of, I liked it, but I was kind of scared too at the same thing, you know.
Yep.
And my mom was pissed when my dad bought it. You shouldn't be putting that shit in the house, and it's satanic. But you know, you play it, hear that intro in the beginning, and it was just such a cool intro before you go into Shout at the Devil. So it was that, and then it says 83, and then 2 years later, 1985, Return of the Living Dead came out, went to the movies, the soundtrack. Yep. I mean, it wasn't metal; it was punk and more gothic kind of shit. You know, death rock, TSOL, and 45 Grave, The Damned.
Yep.
And that just kind of just was in a culmination. And Billy Idol too.
Yep.
Billy Idol and Kiss for sure.
Yeah, I was a casual metal fan in the 80s. Like, you know, you got to start somewhere, right? Everybody says you got to start somewhere. So for me, it was, you know, Motley Crue and Rat and Def Leppard and Ozzy and all that stuff. And once I heard Injustice for All in 88, that was the record that kind of did it for me. I'm like, oh shit, like this is the most amazing thing I've ever heard in my life. I didn't know that metal could be so serious, and like that's such a dark record, and it's my favorite record to this day. Injustice for All. I mean, say what you want about Metallica. I don't like Metallica much these days myself, but that record is the record that really changed me. And then I went back and that got me into thrash, and that's how I got into Overkill and, you know, Exodus and Megadeth and all that stuff. And I went back and bought the back catalogs, and you know, that was the record that did it for me, man.
Yeah, actually, I guess I could relate to that because, like 85, it wasn't like I did that and then I started fucking buying Venom and shit at that. No, it was a gradual learning. So I still was into the music, but I was also into 80s shit too. I like the fucking Police and Duran Duran and Men at Work and shit like that.
My mom used to listen to 80s pop all the time, you know, and I still rock the 80s pop here or there, you know.
I do too. That's good. So in actuality, I can relate to you because I remember when Justice for All came out, because that's kind of the turning point too, where I started really, you know, prior to that, I'd heard of Slayer and stuff, but really getting into it, it was probably around that time. Yeah. And then we were luckily around during the early 90s for the first death metal surge that happened, which was fucking a great time, and it's so good.
Well, shows were so good. My first death metal record was the first Deicide, 1990, and that was my gateway into everything. You know, so
that's a good start right there.
You know, still one of my favorite records to this day. You know.
Oh yeah, yeah. That first Deicide. I remember when I bought that cassette, and my dad kept saying, "What the hell is?" Decide? That's a stupid name for a band.
I brought it home, right? I remember bringing it home. Me and my friend were listening to it, and I had like the volume down because I didn't want my mother to hear it, So it was like, oh shit, man, this is the serious shit that we're listening to now. We thought we were doing something bad.
Yeah, it definitely had that feeling. You listen to Shout at the Devil, you think that's serious, but you put on Deicide, like, all right, that's yeah, that's the next level for sure. It's funny too, talking about thrash. I know you've talked about Overkill a lot, and I, in the same way, I fucking love Overkill. That's one of my favorite thrash bands.
Oh man.
Their whole discography. I mean, some is better than the others, but to me, they never put out a bad album.
To me, like, you put Overkill up, all that early Overkill stuff against anybody in the Big Four and Exodus, and it holds up evenly. Like, it's.
Oh yeah.
I think the Overkill stuff is actually better than the Anthrax stuff, to be honest with you. But
yeah, I am a big Anthrax fan, but putting those two together, yeah, I would pick Overkill over them.
Yep.
And it's funny, I've told this story, I know in a video before, but how when I first heard Overkill, I'd read about them in the magazines, like, all right, this band looks cool. I went to the store, and this was back when I was still going to music stores at the fucking mall before I discovered the real record stores.
Yep.
And I was looking at the tapes, and there was an older guy. This fucking story is so stupid. And I was looking at stuff. He was, oh, yeah, hey, man, that's cool. And he was telling me, and he was an older guy, and I was fucking punk-ass teenager. And I pulled out Overkill, and I said, hey, is this good? Goes, oh, yeah, man, that's good. And my fucking dumbass, I wanted, just some rebellious shit that's, filthy or whatever. I said, hey, does this have a lot of bad cuss words on it? And he just went, oh, yeah, I think so. He's probably thinking, what a fucking dumbass kid. I asked if there was a bunch of cussing on there. Like, I wanted to hear music with bad fucking words.
Yeah. I had a local electronics store by me as a kid, and I used to be able to walk to it. It was great because I could walk to the electronics store, and they used to have a whole cassette section just with metal stuff, a metal section.
Yeah, did you talk about they said they were buying
the other way?
Yeah, so, I think you were talking about that in the video, and they were getting stuff just for you,
for us, just for me and my friends. So we would walk in there, pre-internet, just look at the album cover and say, "Yeah, I'm buying this." And I bought so many cassettes just based on the album cover, and they were all good. There were no disappointments in there ever.
I know that's what's funny too. Back then, buying stuff like that, you just really back then everything you bought was good.
Yeah,
I mean, it was before the whole scene was saturated.
I remember like Whiplash, Ticket to Mayhem, Zentrix, Shattered Existence.
Zentrix.
Like
I know your favorite Zentrix is the EP Ghostbusters.
I love the Ghostbusters EP, man.
Yeah, I have that cassette.
I love all the old Zentrix stuff. That was a band that I got into right from the beginning, and as they went on, they were kind of like the UK's version of Metallica. They had that kind of Metallica vibe to them, with like the songwriting and the way Chris Astley sung the vocals, and he kind of reminded me of Hetfield in spots a little bit. But I love Zentrix, always have, man. Great band.
Yeah, they had a good sound. There was a lot of good thrash bands around back then. I mean, another thrash band that a lot of times people overlook is Laz Rocket.
Yeah.
Which I really like them.
I think of Leatherface right off the bat with Laz Rocket.
I know. Right? Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
Man, that was a great movie.
Yeah.
Wasn't Sacred Reich and Death Angel on the soundtrack too? Man.
Yep. Board was on that soundtrack. I have that CD in the back somewhere.
Yeah, that's a good one. Good movie too. Just so absurd shit, man. It's so good that Ken Foray is from Dawn of the Dead's up there about to fight those hillbillies, and Death Angel's playing the soundtrack, and he's like, "What the fuck is wrong with you people?"
And he was in From Beyond too, right? Ken Foray?
Yes, he was.
That's another great one.
I know. I like the nudity on that one. Barbara Crampton. I think that's her. Yeah, she was on Reanimator and a bunch of that shit.
Yep.
Good movie.
But yeah, I love talking about those old times. Just as like when we were kids, getting turned on to thrash and then death metal, we're just discovering amazing band after amazing band after amazing band. And those are the bands that I still love to this day. And I'm sure you feel the same way, right?
Yeah, it still is. I mean, it's anybody that says, oh, the fucking metal scene is shit now. No, it's not. There are fucking tons of good bands, but the problem is people are always sending me stuff on streaming. Hey, check this out. I'll listen to it. Yeah, it's a good band, but I think the problem why they're not so memorable. It's not because they're not good bands. It's because if I don't have the CD or something, I tend to forget about it versus a digital thing. I listen to it and then go to the next one and forget. You know, the old days, you have a CD, you're going to put that shit in the car and listen to it for 2 weeks straight because you paid 15 or 20 bucks for it. You're going to get your money out of it.
But it takes me a lot because I feel like, especially the thrash genre, like it's all been done before. Like these guys are not reinventing the wheel. So like if it's all been done and you got bands trying to recycle that stuff, I appreciate that. But like I feel like it's already been done, and I don't like a lot of newer thrash bands. I like a handful of them. Like Mystical Waste does it really well, you know.
Yeah.
Love those guys. I like Evil, I like Warbringer.
Oh yeah. Actually, a couple of their records are really fucking good. Yeah. You know, and it's I guess I'll paraphrase that fucking homeboy J Dog. What he says, he's mentioned this, but I agree. Everything's been done, so the key is to try to write good songs, catchy songs.
Exactly.
And there are some bands that do that. I mean, there are other bands that listen to death metal bands that sound really good. Like, man, this sounds like it would have came out in the 90s, but I would rather just go listen to something from the 90s and shit.
Right. Yeah, it comes down to songwriting.
Yeah. But, you know, it's what it comes down to, because you say you're going to do a black metal band, you're not going to do anything original. It's not going to happen. Just like in our band, we're not trying to say, oh man, let's see how groundbreaking. No, we're a bunch of old fucks that liked old stuff, and we write music like that. That's just
but you know what?
it is.
You guys definitely put your own stamp on it, and that's what you need.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that everybody in the band likes all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
The guy that plays guitar, how the writing is, usually he writes the music, bring it to practice, and we'll kind of flesh it out. But he listens to all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
I mean, noisy ass shit from Naked City to Sisters of Mercy to fucking Napalm Death, whatever, you know, and that's just how it comes out.
Are there any genres you don't like? I mean, I can't see you being a big like power metal fan. Like I can't picture you in the car like rocking out the Hammerfall. Am I wrong about that?
Actually, I do have a couple of Hammerfall CDs. Yeah. And the thing about power metal, that's not like my favorite. I mean, you look at my collection, there's only a few CDs. I do like that genre, but it's not something I'm going to, yeah. But it's not my favorite, that's for sure. But there are some good stuff. There's a couple other bands I really like. I can't remember the names of them, but Hammerfall for sure. But yeah, it's good. I mean, again, it's just not my favorite, but I'll listen to it. For the most part, usually any kind of classic, like real metal, I like. The only kind of shit I don't like is that damn like new metal or that rap shit, whatever the fuck it is. Man, I was at the gym the other day and some motherfucker put on some, because they can put shit on. You can see the videos playing, and they played some shit called Static X.
Man, that's a new metal band, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I could have went and fucking killed that guy. It was, man, I told him, I said, what in the fuck kind of pussy ass shit is this? Oh man, it's fucking bad. No, this is fucking garbage. I said, you listen to fucking pussy shit, man.
I do like a little bit of hip hop though. If you watch my videos, you know I kind of throw a hip hop record in here or there. Like I like Cypress Hill and Ice-T and all that stuff, and it's just another me evolving as a music fan. It's just a genre that I kind of listen to, but of course I'm a metalhead first, but I do like a lot of hip hop.
Yeah, I mean, there's if you come from the 80s and 90s, there's a lot of that shit that people were into, like you said, Ice Cube and Cypress Hill or whatever the fuck, Onyx or some shit like that. And that kind of crap never did nothing for me. It always just kind of made me sick when I listened to it. But in the same sense, I can see why some people that listen to heavy music listen to it. So that's why I don't simply, why the fuck you listen to that fucking bullshit? Hey, if you like it,
that's
whatever.
That's what I tell everybody. Like what you like because you like it. Don't be influenced by anybody else. Be your own fan.
Yeah, if you were telling me you like 2023 radio hip hop, I'd be like, well, I don't know.
No,
I don't know about that shit. That is some fucking pure trash. Or actually anything on the fucking radio, not just hip hop or rap. All that stuff is fucking garbage, man.
It's so like inadvertent, like it's so sexual, right? I can't believe kids listen to that, WAP bullshit and like.
I know what you're talking about.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, you see, now that's I'm talking about shit like that, like kids shouldn't be listening to it. You're thinking somebody's like, you of all people think kids shouldn't be listening to it. No, I don't. I mean, I think that kind of crude shit should be allowed because I like crude shit. I like fucking Gigi Allen and all that kind of shit. But do I think Gigi Allen needs to be on mainstream radio? No, absolutely not. Because the way I look at it, I think people in general are just fucking stupid and they can't think on their own.
Yeah.
And you put the wrong kind of shit out there, and I mean, I don't know. Look at the shit they play on the radio and look how people act these days.
Yeah, no.
That's my, I don't gotta say anything else.
I know.
But yeah, I mean, I can understand that there's some guys I know that like, old rap and shit like that. For me, actually, I was talking about J-Dog too. Somebody, we were talking about some shit about, and there were some channels talked about, yeah, if you don't like rap, you're racist. I was like, motherfucker, don't even tell me that fucking bullshit. To me, it's funny. I told fucking homeboy, I call him that homeboy because he always says that, but I fucking hate rap shit. Did you say what? I don't like black music. I said, fuck you, motherfucker, because my fucking favorite Christmas music is from fucking black people. So fuck off, motherfucker.
The minute you disagree with anybody, they always tell you you're either, you're racist, you're transphobic, you're homophobic, you're,
and
a Nazi.
That's another. Yeah, that's another thing too. It's this world is fucking gotten stupid, man.
Really
I mean, literally, if you want to fucking suck dick, whatever. I don't want it shoved down my throat, but if you want to do it, fucking more power to you.
Have you ever heard anybody, any of your friends, anybody say a derogatory thing about Rob Halford when he came out? I never did. Like, I still love Rob Halford as much as I did way back when. I don't care that he's gay to you. Like,
no,
where's this outrage coming from?
Well, I know what's funny about that. Back when he did come out with that shit, I remember we was laughing. I said, "Oh no, shit! You couldn't figure out all the fucking bondage shit." He was. Right? Yeah. I didn't care. I mean,
nobody cares.
What's good about it? I mean, I don't know. I could be wrong, but I don't see him talking about a bunch of just agenda shoving it down people's throat. He's like, no, this is what I do, and whatever. It's not going to stop me from liking, classic Judas Priest because I fucking love Judas Priest.
Yeah, man. I think people are just off their rockers these days with this PC stuff. I know you feel the same way. So
yeah, it's also too. It's just crazy that people getting accused of certain things because, like I've mentioned this numerous times on. For me, music I listen to all kinds of crap. And some of this stuff, like there's NSBM that it's racist. I have a bunch of albums like that, but I also have a bunch of left wing, crust punk shit that's communist and left wing. I mean, whatever. It's all bullshit to me. I just like the music.
I can't and you're the same way. I can't let politics dictate what I do and don't listen to. I can't do that. Like I love Bad Religion. Bad Religion is as left as it gets, and I still love those guys. I just wish that, like, I don't know how you feel, but like liberal, left wing, right wing, all that bullshit. It's just another way to divide people, so
it is
one of the many ways that the media or whoever tries to divide people. And like, you can be as left wing as you want, and call out the right wing people and vice versa. But at the end of the day, they're still all fucking corrupt. They don't give a shit about you or me. Like these politicians don't give a fuck about us. Like the minute people realize that and start coming together is when shit's going to get fixed in this country, Yeah,
no, that's why it cracks me up when I see people out in the streets fighting over a politician or something. They don't give a fuck about you, man. They don't care.
They don't.
Yeah, that's why I try not to watch much mainstream TV, and also too with this band Mordant Rhed, it's not a political band per se, but in a way it is kind of because it's all about fuck this bullshit that's going on. It's not anything left wing, right wing, or anything. It's more of just fuck this bullshit, man. This stupid sheep way of thinking, In the old days, the '80s. Punk rock was all about fuck the government, and now punk rock's about the government's cool. Let's support everything. Like, what the fuck? That makes no goddamn sense to me.
I know, it's ridiculous. But like I said, I can't let that dictate who I do and don't listen to, and I know you feel the same way about that.
Yeah, I mean, because there's so many fucking good bands. Like, I bring this band up all the time. It's a grindcore band from Belgium called Agothicles.
Yep.
Great grindcore band. They have hundreds of releases. I used to buy all their 7-inches, but I got to have like 50 of them. I'm like, man, I'm not buying any more of their shit because they put out so much. But my point is, they're anti-government shit. I resonate with some of it, but some of it's just pure fucking hippie bullshit that it's just not for me. But I still like the band.
Yep.
I like them a lot. Their fucking music is great, but I'm not going to let that affect the way I think. And again, I have a bunch of bands that are on the other side of the fence too.
Me too.
I like it. Good music, and it's not going to make me change the way I think about anything.
No, if it's good music, I'm going to listen to it, regardless.
Yeah. And the good thing, it seems like a lot of people are getting more like that in the metal scene, because I used to go to a lot of punk rock and hardcore shows, but those fucking scenes have turned to fucking garbage. I just have nothing to do with that. But go to metal scene, whenever these days there's not any fights, and I see people at shows wearing, shirts with some bands with some ideologies and some bands with the others, but I don't see anybody fighting at the shows or nothing. Right. Nobody gives a shit.
No, I agree with you.
I mean, unless you're walking around with some agenda that hey, you don't, whatever, if you're pro-gay or you're not, or you fucking like NSBM and then you want to fight somebody over it, that's fucking stupid.
Dumb. So let me throw some bands at it. I just want to get your reaction on some bands. Some are going to be underground. Some are going to be mainstream. I just want your opinion on these bands, whether you like them, whether you don't like them, hate them, if you like certain records or whatever you want to talk about. I'm going to throw some bands at you. This is going to be fun.
I like this because I've seen you do this in your other interviews. So yeah, I'm ready.
Demolition Hammer.
Great band. But the thing about it for me, they came 2 years too late.
Right. Yeah.
Imagine if that first record on Century Media came out 2 years before, it would have been huge. But for me, I remember when it came out, I thought it was okay. But at that time, was it 91? The first one came out, I think, or was it 91? I think. But at that point, I was so much into death metal, that I just I think they too little, too late. But still, good fucking band though.
Tortured Existence was 1990, and Epidemic of Violence was 92.
Okay, there we go.
Yep.
Both those are good. The one after that's kind of shitty, but those two are fucking good. And actually, I'm here in Texas. There's a fest, Hell's Heroes. It's next year, and Demolition Hammer is supposed to be playing with Sodom and a bunch of other bands. So I'm looking forward to that.
They've been doing a reunion. Like, they've been doing shows for a while now, at least a few years. I wonder, if they're working on any new material. I would love to hear some new shit from those guys.
I don't know. It's like some of these old bands just literally just stick with playing off the same old albums, which in some ways I can understand. They don't want to fuck up their
legacy.
But I'd be curious to hear if they did something new, though. I would
love that. How about, this is from down in your neck of the woods too. How about Blaspherian?
Oh yeah. I've seen them play many times.
I don't think they're together anymore. Am I right?
No,
they're not, right? No,
as far as I know. But yeah, they had 2 good fucking albums. Good.
Infernal Warriors of Death. How great was that?
Yeah, that was some good fucking just satanic death metal.
Yep.
And when that came out, it was I forget what year it was, but they weren't reinventing the wheel, but they were writing some cool fucking shit. And what's funny, when that band first came out, they're literally from my same town. So, yeah, I know exactly about them. I've seen them plenty of times. When it first came out, I saw Blaspherian. I was like, wait. And there was in the early 90s, there was JL America, that record label they put out Asheron and shit like that. Mm-hmm. And there was a band on that label called Blaspherion with an O at the end.
Yep.
I'm thinking, that's not the same band. But it's not. But then again, a name like that's so fucking common, But that's what I thought when they first came out. But yeah, I like them for sure.
How about Dissection?
Yeah, I do.
You like Dissection?
I like them. Yeah, it's usually that's not the type of black metal I go to, but they got some pretty good fucking stuff and a cool. Well, I don't want to say a cool backstory, but an interesting backstory of the singer and his legal matters, and then he killed himself and weird shit. But yeah, I like them. Good band.
they're kind of like a melodic black metal band. Would you
Yeah.
agree? Like Storm of the Light's Bane is super melodic. The Somberlane was super melodic, you know?
Yeah. No, they're good. You see, normally if someone would come up to me and goes, "Hey man, check out this new band, they're a fucking badass melodic black metal band," my first thought was like, nah, I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
But there are some bands that do it well, and they did it well. And even like some earlier Demu Borgir, like some of their shit,
Yeah.
I mean, not newer stuff, but earlier stuff, pretty fucking good.
I got a hard time with like symphonic metal. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're right. That is symphonic, Maya.
I can't put my hands around the symphonic. Like, even a band as legendary as Emperor, like,
Yeah.
I have a hard time liking or loving Emperor. Like, I have In the Night Side Eclipse. It's the only Emperor record I got. And I do listen to it here or there, but I don't love that symphonic shit. I don't know about you.
Again, yeah, I do, but I have to be in the mood for it.
Yeah,
like Demu, I like them, but would I want to go put on the record right now? No, I'd rather put on that Morbid Angel demo.
Hell yeah.
But it's good. There's another band I liked. I don't even know if I'm saying it right. Korash Angren. I think I'm probably saying it wrong. It's some fucking European shit, but it's a great band. It's kind of like in that vein, very symphonic, but the vocalist is really fucking good. Almost got like death metal vocals, and it's very
Never heard of
theatric. Their music videos are very cool, very horror-esque stuff on there. But again, it's a band that I can't listen to all the time.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
How about Cro-Mags?
Now that's my fucking backyard. I mean, not my backyard, but that's my fucking background because I was always been into old hardcore and shit.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I love Cro-Mags. It's funny, I bought Age of Quarrel. I loved it. And then when I first bought Best Wishes, I remember I bought the tape and I put it on the car.
Best Wishes.
Oh, it's just good fucking thrash metal, man.
Pure crossover.
Yeah.
So underrated, man.
Yeah. It is. And even a lot of their other, they've had their breakups of Harley Flanagan and John Joseph fighting like babies and breaking up. And they had another album later on called Alpha Omega, which is pretty good. I mean, the fucking part where he starts rapping on there sounds like dog shit, but overall, it's a good. Do you have that album?
I do. Yeah, I got all the Cro-Mag stuff, man.
Yeah. You open it up, and that is the worst band photo of all time. I mean, it looks like some kind of Village People shit or something, man.
Well, Harley owns the name again, I think, right? He has rights to the name.
Yeah, which I think is fitting. I mean, it's good. I mean, Harley Flanagan's solo stuff has been good, and he put out an album recently. It's probably been a couple of years. It was called Cro-Mag.
Yeah, I have that.
It was good. I love Cro-Mags. It's all good shit. That crossover shit like Cro-Mags, Leeway, Crumbsuckers.
Yep. You like Crumbsuckers? Did you like Propane?
Yeah, actually, I did.
I love Propane
was
too.
Yeah. Actually, I saw them one time.
Me
it was
too,
probably
one time. I ever saw them once.
Yeah, and it was a cool show too. It was 91 or 92. It was them, DRI, and Testament.
Wow,
it was a good fucking show, man.
I saw them open up for Creator.
Oh shit, that's cool.
That was killer. And I actually met Gary that night. He was at the booth. I think I was the only one who knew who the fuck he was, So I went over to the booth and I introduced myself, and he was cool as hell. Gary was.
That's cool. Good band. That's also another band that people tend to overlook. Like I even just didn't mention them, but they are good band.
Yeah. How about 6 Feet Under?
Okay. When they first came out with Haunted, I really liked that album.
Me too.
And even the other stuff, the next 4 or 5 albums, I liked it, but then it just started sounding like shit, man.
And he did all those cover albums, right? Graveyard Classics. Yeah. That was way too much.
I know, and I actually did buy the AC/DC.
Did you really?
Yeah. I bought it. I remember even when I was buying it, I was like, why am I buying this shit? And I put it in. It was interesting. And the first Graveyards Classic was pretty cool. I mean, they did the Venom cover, which they did really good at. What else? They did AC/DC.
Bastard, right? From Motley Crue on one of them.
I can't remember. It must have been part 2 because I know the first one. It was AC/DC TNT and yeah, I can't remember. It's been a long time since I've listened to that shit.
Me too. I like the old 6 Feet Under myself.
Yeah. But, they went to hell, and then just even watching interviews of that guy, he takes himself way too serious.
He does, yeah.
I mean, I remember back then they'd have a CD and come with a DVD. I'd watch it, and he would talk about his lyrics. Yeah, I got some really cool lyrics coming out about some horror. I'm like, man, your lyrics are not that prolific, man. They're not. I mean, they're horror, they're cool, but he was writing talking like he was writing some fucking Shakespearean shit or something. Like, motherfucker, you ain't that good.
I don't have many negative stories, especially when it comes to death metal guys, but we went to go see them one time, and we were walking in the door, and he was there. It was on the Bleeding tour, and he was like hanging out. We saw him on the way in. We're like, hey man, what's up? Come check out the show. Just hello, how you doing? He like didn't even say anything to us. He looked at me and my friends. He like went like this and fucking like walked away. Like he was too good to talk to us. Like that shit sticks with you, Like
that's when you should have grabbed him by his hair, wrapped around your hands, and just started knocking the shit.
Yeah, I don't have too many negative stories like that, but I don't forget shit like that,
Yeah, actually, my interaction with him is I saw them numerous times when he was with Cannibal Corpse. Saw him on the Butchered at Birth tour and Tomb of the Mutilated and Bleeding. One of those, actually, this was Tomb of the Mutilated. I remember I bought that long sleeve shirt, went to the booth, and he was there and bought a shirt from him. He wasn't an asshole, but he wasn't overly friendly either. And there was a flyer there. I said, hey, man, sign this. I don't even know why. Normally, I'm not into that kind of shit, but he just was. He signed it. He was about 3 foot tall. I was like, man, I could fucking smash you if I wanted to. I mean, but he didn't do anything rude like he did you. That's fucked up. But he was just
seems like one of those guys.
Yeah.
How about Lamb of God?
Nothing.
I'm not a fan of Lamb of God either.
Does nothing for me. My cousin who's into metal, he's younger. He is really into Lamb of God, and he's always, I don't understand how you don't like them. Like, man, there's maybe if I got into them when they first came out, but
I seen them in a club. They opened up for Gwar. Like I forget what tour it was, but that first record, New American Gospel, I think it was, just came out. And when we watched them, like there was barely any. It was in a club, and to me, like they reminded me of like maybe a little bit of Testament here or there, maybe throw in a little bit of Pantera. But to see them in a club and then to see what they like morphed into, like I don't like. I think they're decent, but I just don't get all the hype around Lamb of God. I got to be honest with you.
Yeah, I know when a few years ago when Slayer was supposed to go on their final tour, they came through here with Lamb of God, Behemoth, and Testament. And of course, when Lamb of God was playing, I was outside socializing. I just didn't. I mean, it's not that I fucking hate them. It's just they just don't do anything for me.
They don't do a lot.
At that show, fucking Behemoth and Testament tore that shit up. So,
how about Nuclear Assault?
Oh God, I love Nuclear Assault. Okay. I absolutely love Nuclear Assault. They almost have like that hardcore element to it. They're from New York.
Yeah.
Actually, that's why I like them, and also Overkill, because that New York thrash sound, even the early Anthrax, is just, there's just a certain sound to it. And
totally get that.
And also the thing about with Nuclear Assault, I remember the first time I heard them, I thought, man, this is great. But also there was something when I first heard it, and I can never stop unseeing this, but when I heard them, automatically thought, is fucking Sam Kinison doing the vocals on this? The comic?
Yeah.
I mean, literally, go back and listen to Nuclear Assault. Close your eyes and imagine him.
I never put that together, but now I'm not going to be able to forget that shit.
It's like every time I hear Nuclear Assault, I think of fucking Sam Kinison. I mean, yeah, but yeah, I do love Nuclear Assault.
I met John Connolly once. He was a fucking nice dude. He's got like a cool sense of humor. He's like a funny guy that just to chill and talk with for a little bit. He was awesome when we met him, man. Me and my wife met him outside of a club one time.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, I've never seen Nuclear Assault before.
Oh, really?
And I wish that I had, because I know years and years ago they played with Slayer here, and I didn't go. It's one of those things where I'll go see them one of these days and just never go see them.
And then they're gone. And
like another band like you, I know you talked about Prong. I just saw it pop up back there. Yep. I always loved Prong, but I never saw them back in the classic days, and I finally just saw them 3 years ago, and it was all right, but I really wish I would have saw them during Beg to Differ or something like that.
Because that's my Prong record, man. That's the one I love from them.
Yep.
How about Exodus?
I like Exodus a lot. Yeah. Exodus is really cool. I mean, of course, I I like Overkill better than Exodus, though, for sure.
Yep.
No question to me. I've you talk about the original thrash bands. Exodus was cool, but I liked Overkill better. I liked. I don't know if I want to say I like Testament better, but I probably do listen to Testament more than I do Exodus. It's good though. It's good, and I like the even some of the newer, more modern stuff that almost sounded kind of death metalish with the other singer. I thought it was pretty good. I saw them on one of those tours, and yeah, what was it? Shovelhead or some
Shovelheaded Kill Machine. Yep.
Yeah, that's a pretty good album.
Yep.
I mean, it doesn't sound like the classic Exodus, but
on
still
Exhibit
pretty good
B,
album.
They had Peter Taggart from Hypocrisy doing guest tracks on "The Sun Is My Destroyer." That's like the long track on Exhibit B.
Okay,
it has a real death metal vibe to it. Really good.
Yeah, it's good, and I saw them on that Shovelhead tour, and I don't know why back in the old shows used to always turn into fights and shit all the time, and I went there with a bunch of people and I had this fucking girl with me, and she goes to the bathroom and I'm sitting at a booth and some other bitch comes and sits down there and I got fucking tattoos and shit. She goes, "Oh, I like your tattoos." I just rub my arms and I'm, "Oh, you like that?" And then the other girl comes back and grabs her by the head and they start. I was like, "Oh, okay." Of course, we went the whole way home. That bitch was fucking screaming at me and cussing me out the whole way home. And, hey, there's my Exodus story.
How about God Dethroned?
Yeah, it's a good band, but it's one of those ones where I've listened to them, but if somebody sit here and tried to quiz me on them, I wouldn't be able to rattle stuff off. It's one of those bands that I like the sound, but I couldn't just sit there and think, "Oh, the second album is called this," and I don't know.
How about Savatage?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Another one of those bands. I got a couple of their records over there.
Yep.
It's not a favorite of mine, but it's good. It's definitely good. But I just like I have LP, which is the one. It's got their black. It's a black background with their logo. It's like a metalish color.
I know which one you're talking about.
I can't remember the name of it. And what's going to happen is somebody's going to comment on there. "You dumbass! It's called this," and I can't remember. You know what? Well, I'm going to say it
it's something like The Dungeons Are Calling or something like that. Is that right? That's what the first thing that's popped in my head. Dungeons.
I think. Yeah, I have it. Just like I did one video when I was talking about Overkill, and I could, for whatever reason, under the influence, I couldn't remember the name of it, even though I should know, because that's, for me, the first Overkill I bought. I think it was the first one you got too, right?
Yeah.
So I should know that, but for whatever reason, I couldn't think, and people were commenting, "You idiot, you can't." Like, motherfucker, I'll slap you in the fucking mouth if I was in person.
Sometimes you just draw a blank, and I do it all the time here on the channel. I draw blanks on shit. So let's get real controversial here. Van Halen, do you like the Roth era or the Hagar era better?
Well, probably Roth.
You do, yeah,
for sure. I mean, I'm not a huge David or Van Halen's fan, but I really, Panama, and then when fucking 1984 came out, and even though Jump is a fucking pussy ass song, I always think about that. But I don't know. But during that time when that came out and prior, it was okay, but I was more into like Quiet Riot and shit like that. Metal Health, that was just blew that shit away. But as far as Van Halen, it's okay. I mean, it's not. If I'm going to listen to, 80s rock, that's not the first thing I'm going to pull up for sure.
If you like 80s stuff, how about Grim Reaper?
Oh yes,
those 3 Grim Reaper albums.
Yes, Welcome to Hell, my friend, motherfucker, man. Oh god damn! What on the Welcome to Hell, and then what was it? The second album.
There was See You in Hell, Fear No Evil, and then Rock You to Hell.
Yeah. See No Evil. That's the one with the Reaper on the motorcycle going through the church. Yeah. And the first time I heard Grim Reaper was, again, back in the early 80s. You had Friday Night Videos and all these shit that would play videos. My dad would record videos, and he recorded a Grim Reaper video, and I forget the name of the song, but it's like all Mad Max looking, and there's a fucking werewolf with a big wolf head fighting. I thought, oh, man, this is fucking great, man.
Yeah.
And you know what's cool about that band is all the production, the guitars are always heavy as fuck on all those records.
And
Steve
Grimmett sounded so good on those records, man. He was one of my favorite vocalists back then.
Yeah, on those albums, I wouldn't change anything.
Yeah, me neither.
Great.
How do you feel about Guns N' Roses?
I like them. A lot of people talk shit. Oh, you like that pussy shit? There was something with either live stream or something. Somebody was talking shit about that. I don't know. I like it. I mean, when um, Appetite for Destruction came out, I mean, it wasn't heavy. I mean, it was heavier shit, but I liked it. I thought it was a good rock album.
I think it's one of the greatest hard rock albums ever. I got to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's good, and I have such fond memories of hearing that. Even the Patience EP, I like that.
That was really
Even
good. Yeah. Yep.
Even the scary song at the end that they deleted, One in a Million. But yeah, I like it. And what's the EP that Live 3? It's the EP that it's at the end of Patience.
GNR Lies was the EP, right? GNR Lies it was called.
Yeah,
and then they had one called the Spaghetti Incident or something like that.
I'm getting fucked up. Yeah, Patience was a song, but it was called Lies, the Lies EP. But also on the CD, they included the other EP with the live stuff at the end.
Right.
Where they did like Rose Tattoo cover,
yes.
they did an Aerosmith cover.
Yep.
That's some good fucking rock and roll right there.
Great stuff. Great stuff.
The double album, though, I wasn't a huge fan of that. You know what? When I look at that double album, you could have cut that down to one album and had a solid record because there were some good songs, but a lot of fucking bullshit on there too.
There was a lot of fucking garbage in between those great songs on those records. But
yep.
How about Terror? I know you like some hardcore. You into Terror?
Yeah, I do. I liked Scott Vogel before he was in Buried Alive, and what the fuck was his band before that? I'm losing my mind. I have the album, but I love Buried Alive and Terror. One with the Underdogs, man. That's some shit I want to just smash people and listen to.
Man. Terror brings it every time.
You know, all their albums are pretty fucking good. Even some of the more recent ones was good.
Yeah.
And actually, was it 2 years ago or something? Buried Alive out of nowhere came out with a 7-inch EP, and it was fucking good. I bought it. Yeah, I've seen Terror quite a few times. I saw Buried Alive.
The last one they put out, I think it was called Power into Pain, if I'm not mistaken. The last one they did a song with Corpse Grinder. Corpse Grinder gets it on one of the tracks, and
that's cool.
It's great. Check that out, man.
I should, because I haven't got anything by them in quite some time. And also at Vogel, he did another project called World Be Free. And it was that other, I can't remember who else was on there. It was kind of a ensemble. It was okay, but Terror, yeah, that's some, I want to fucking smash shit when I listen to that.
Yeah, it's great stuff. How about Mustaine and Megadeth? How do you feel about Mustaine?
Of course, I liked it when I was a kid. I liked Peace Sells and So Far So Good and the early shit. But once they started getting more popular and everyone Bill and Ted's soundtrack and shit, I just lost interest.
Yeah.
I've tried to go back and listen to some of the newer, well, not newer, but stuff past the classic era, like Risk and Euthanasia and all.
Not your thing.
It's all right.
Yeah. Megadeth were on all the soundtracks back then. They were on fucking the Shocker soundtrack.
Yeah.
Bill and Ted, like you said.
Yeah.
Demon Knight they were on.
Yeah.
They were on a ton of them.
I know. Actually, on Shocker, I liked their Alice Cooper cover on there. No More Mr. Nice Guy. I thought they did a good job on it.
Me too.
But looking at the big four, as they call them, really, to me, Anthrax and Slayer, to me, are the best because I can listen to just about all their albums.
Yep.
Even Anthrax, even the John Bush era, I like some of that shit too.
I've seen Anthrax a couple times in that John Bush era, and they were great, man. They were, John Bush is amazing.
He is. I liked Armored Saint too, so it worked out. It was kind of weird when he first took over on vocals. I mean, this is a totally different style. And when that Sound of White Noise came out, at first I was kind of indifferent, but now I really like that album a lot. I mean, it's not fucking classic Anthrax metal, but it's a good fucking hard rock album.
I think I talked about that on one of the videos, going from Persistence of Time to the Sound of White Noise. Being such a big Anthrax fan back then, I was like, oh, I wasn't sure about it, but it grew on me. Like the Sound of White Noise, it's a good album, and it grew on me.
Yeah, at the time didn't hate it, but I was just like, I don't know about this. But now I love it's really fucking good.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you fucking poser! You listen to pussy shit.
How about Pantera? Last one, Pantera, and we'll call quits.
Hey, I like these questions, but Pantera, I like Pantera. You know, a lot of people talk shit about them. How do you like that crap? Well, I liked them back when fucking Cowboys from Hell came out, and that's one of those things where I still like Pantera, but I have never owned a Pantera shirt. I would never wear that shit, you know. But I like them. I mean, even power metal before Cowboys from Hell, that's a good fucking Judas Priest kind of sounding metal album, and
Yep.
uh, I think that the problem is why people talk so much shit is because of a lot of fucking dumbass meatheads like that crap. And typically, if you ask somebody says, "Oh, you like metal? Oh, you like stuff like Pantera?" I'm just like, yeah, kind of. But
Yeah.
I mean, so
When
it's one of those
Cowboys from
things
Hell
where it's
came out, that was one of the CDs that I got. Remember Columbia House, where you send them money and they send you
yes,
like 12 or 15 CDs for $1 or
yep,
whatever it was. That was where
yep.
I got turned on to Pantera, and I got Cowboys from Hell. And when I listened to that, I mean, I'd lump them in with my thrash guys. Like, to me, that was more of a thrash record than anything else. And then they kind of
Well, yeah,
morphed
that
into this
was.
groove metal band. But I always viewed that as kind of a thrash record. What do you think?
But that album, yes, especially like the song "Primal Concrete Sledge." I mean, that's a fucking threat. I mean, just the guitar, man. I would definitely put that in the thrash
Yeah.
realm for sure. I
I'd
mean,
say that's more thrash than groove. And then, like, then came Vulgar Display of Power, which was, complete groove. But I still like that record. I really did.
I did too. I mean, when I saw the first video for Mouth for War, and he came out, he had his head shaved, had a totally different look. It just looked more because it looked like a fucking hardcore band.
He did.
You know, I was thinking, oh, we got fucking sick of it all here. You know, hardcore, negative approach kind of shit. And
Yep.
the music was good. It was heavier, and then the next album got more groove, Latin or whatever. I still liked it. I like all of those albums.
Yeah.
Even the last one, Reinventing Still,
You liked it?
it's
Yeah.
good album.
What was the one before that? It was they did
Southern Trendkill,
Southern Trendkill. That was the one. Yeah.
yeah,
Was that the
which
one
to
with
me is a
floods on it? That
can't
really kind
remember.
of slow groover floods. Do you remember that? It had like an
I
acoustic
think,
intro.
yeah,
I got to
I
revisit that
think it
record.
was.
I really do.
It's one I haven't listened to in a long time, but yeah, I just remember the shitty cover of a fucking rattlesnake
The snake
on the
on it, right?
cover.
Yeah.
I thought that was so stupid. I'm like, man, whatever. Yeah, I like Pantera. It's good. It's just one of those things. Would I have a fucking Pantera patch on here? No, fuck no. But I do like them though.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked them back in the day. Not so much these days, but same with Metallica for me. I just we reviewed the 72 seasons record here on the channel. Me and my buddy started this channel, and he kind of like gradually faded out. But I kind of reviewed it because he wanted to review it, so we did like a joint review. And that was really the only record that I reviewed that I didn't like. So like I don't like to make it a habit of like shitting on people's art. Like if I listen to a record, I'm not going to review it and hammer the fuck out of it. I'm just not that guy. But that was the one record
Yeah,
that we reviewed that I didn't like at all, to be honest with you.
yeah. With that being said, when that came out, I did talk about that on video. They came out with one single. I forgot what the name of the song was, and
Lux Eterna, was
I
it?
was. Oh, no, it was that was like the third single or something. There was one, the very first one that came out. It was definitely had a very new wave of British heavy metal feel to it. Well, and kind of a Motorhead-ish, just kind of because the double bass was the way it was being played. It didn't sound like Motorhead, but the way the drums were being played. And I thought it was pretty good. I mean, it wasn't like, oh, it's fucking badass, but I thought, you know what? Not too bad, and of course the old album came out and it lost me real quickly.
Yeah,
But
me too.
that one track I thought was okay. It was a pretty good hard rock song. It wasn't fucking metal or anything like that, but
Yeah.
I thought it was okay. But I sure the hell wouldn't waste my money on it. That's for sure.
I bought it. But I haven't listened to it since we reviewed it, and that was like fucking back in April. So
You can go fucking put it in the back of your car window during the summer. I mean, it's people like to talk shit about them and everything. Hey man, if I was able to make fucking millions of dollars making music, fucking whatever. I mean,
they had two
I don't
sold
know.
out shows, I think, here at MetLife Stadium, not too far from us. And I was gonna go, like I was gonna take my daughter because I kind of wanted her to see Metallica, like she's getting into metal now. And it was
Oh,
just so
cool.
expensive. Me, my daughter, and my wife, the tickets were gonna be like $600, and they were way up in the nosebleeds, like in the corner of the fucking stadium. And I'm like, oh man, like just thought that was way too much money, so I just, you know,
That's not worth it.
I nixed it.
There ain't nobody worth seeing that shit.
No.
But I mean, it would be interesting to see them. But like they did that. It was a movie, a performance movie that came out maybe 10 years ago, where it's like them playing in a stadium, but then there's a little backstory of the guy, the roadie, and then there's a big fucking chaos going on outside. And
I did see
it
that.
was pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah, it was pretty cool movie. I mean, I thought it was all right. I'm sure some people was no, fuck that, only sarcophago, oh, nothing else. See that too. That's why what I liked about your channel, because you talk about fucking obscure shit, but you also talk about fucking Faith No More or some shit like we talked about before.
Yeah.
You know, I like Faith No More. Not and that's another band too. I think gets a bad rap because people think about, oh, it's that rap metal shit. No, it's not really. No. I mean, they had that one song that was their single that was like that, but if you listened to other shit, it's not fucking rap.
No, I think especially when Mike Patton joined the band, like all the records after that were so much different than the other. What was the one that came after the Real Thing? Was it Angel Dust? That was much different than the Real Thing.
Yeah, and that is a great fucking album.
That was the one with Midlife Crisis on it, right?
Yes, that is a good album. It
really is. Yep.
I already lost fucking cool points by saying that. Oh man, fuck him. He likes fucking whatever.
I like another band for your neck of the woods. I like Dangerous Toys. I love those first two Dangerous Toys records. I really do. I love Jason McMaster. Like I talked about it on another video. I think he's underrated. I think those Dangerous Toys records are so much fun. What do you like those? Yes, I do. And it's another band that I listened to because of my dad. He bought those first tapes, and I was like, man, this is pretty good. And if you have the first album, the band picture, one of the guys has a Death shirt on. Right. Yeah. Right. It's fucking crazy. Yep. But yeah, it's good. It's just like fucking just sleazy rock and roll, you know, and it's fun. Good. Even his other shit, Broken Teeth. Yep. Is a good fucking rock band that he's in. Oh yeah, I like Dangerous Toys. Yeah, he does a couple of heavier bands too. Yeah. He's been very involved in music, and there's one tour that came through here in early 90s, and I so wish that I went and I didn't go. It was called the Operation Rock and Roll Tour. It was, you know what I'm talking about, right? I do. I missed it myself too. It was Dangerous Toys, Metal Church, Motorhead, Judas Priest. I know I'm missing one too. Who else was on it? Alice Cooper was on it. Alice Cooper. That's it. Yeah. Yep. And you think about that, I mean, because I remember back then I was like, all right, I'd like to go see, you know, Metal Church. That's what I wanted to see. But I was like, I don't know if I want to see all that crap. Now I look back on it, like, what the fuck was I thinking, man? I wish I would have went. That was when Trash came out, right? Alice Cooper was touring for Trash back then. Yeah, you see, and that was an era when I was like, oh, I'm too cool for Alice Cooper. I only liked that shit when I was a kid. I like fucking heavier shit now, but why? Why did I wish I would have went? I think Metal Church was touring for the Human Factor, if I'm not mistaken. That's another great record, you know. Absolutely. I like the Human Factor. Yep. Date with Poverty. Oh man. All the songs on the Human Factor are good. Man, actually I got a funny fucking story about Metal Church, about the music. You know, back then a lot more people listened to metal. I mean, it wasn't mainstream, but it was a little more common. And we were at my friend's house, and there was older guys that lived next door. They were fucking complete retards, but they would always play metal, and they had a boombox out in the front. And it was right when Human Factor came out. They were playing Metal Church. They had that tape playing so fucking loud, and we were young. You know, we were hanging out, and they were in the front yard. They were drunk as shit, and they were headbanging, listening to it. And one of the neighbors came over and said, hey, y'all need to cut that shit out. Man, fuck you, motherfucker. And they ended up getting into a fight and rolling all around the front yard. They were fighting some grown man. As fucking Metal Church was playing in the background. Actually, I still remember it clearly. That guy said, hey, you need to turn this shit off. That guy's head banging at the same time and going like this. So there's a Metal Church story. That's great stuff. Yeah, man, good, very cool stuff, man. It's So what else you got? You want to close on something about your band, like something that you're working on, or anything else you want to get out there before we cut it off?
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna be working on the full length, and looks like we're gonna do it with Goat Throne Records. I corresponded with Aaron, the guy that runs it, and we had a good conversation, and everything seemed to line up as far as what we want. So pretty good. So we're working on that, and just to let you know, as people know, we like all kinds of music. So the full length is definitely not going to be just nonstop blasting all the way through, because there's going to be more mid-tempo stuff like the Hatred of Humanity song, and then blasting stuff. There's going to be some stuff more kind of like hardcore with D beat in there. So the key is to have an album where it's doing this.
Yeah. Yep.
It's not just blast all the way through, which I love blasting, but if you write an album with like Marduk, I love fucking Marduk, but it gets boring, you know.
I actually just picked up the new one just a few days ago, the Memento Mori.
Yeah,
it's solid as fuck. It's one I slept on for a little bit, and I finally just got it.
I like that album. I like the album art cover too. Artwork on the cover, very cool.
Check
very
this out. I just
black.
picked this up. Tell me if you like this. This was remember Infest Dead? That was Dan Swano's kind of answer to Deicide. Dan Swano from Sweden. They got both. This is really nice. They got both full lengths on this and the EP. So if you like Deicide, you're gonna love Infest Dead, man. Check them out. This is the compilation with all their stuff on it. Satanic Serenades. Write that down, man. You're gonna love this one. And I ordered that actually from Osmos in France. That's where I found it.
Very cool, because I've never heard that before. But if it sounds like old Deicide, then well, then yeah, I need to check that shit out.
So everybody out there, check out Mordant Rhed's YouTube channel. He's got one of the best channels going for metal. I'm going to link his Bandcamp below. Check out his band. Check out Mordant Rhed, the band. Go on their Bandcamp. Buy their shit. You're not going to be sorry. I'm loving the shit so far. I bought both of the EPs. Here's the Hatred of Humanity EP. He sent me all this extra shit. He'll probably send you extra shit too, because you could tell it's the kind of guy he is. You know, check him out, support. These are exactly the type of bands we need to support. So, you know, I appreciate that. And I'll link all his stuff below.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And like you just said, we try to make sure the packaging is something cool. You know, there's a book with that, and then the DVD case. Yeah, because there's just so much stuff out there. You got to do something different. And at least with that, there's something different to look at. Because I know for me, if I bought a band, I would want that kind of shit.
Me too. That's exactly the kind of stuff I look for. So thanks for putting all your effort into that. Like, it goes a long way, you know, with me being a fan. So, and I'm a new fan.
So. Cool. We appreciate that. Also, thanks for sending that Realms of Metal shirt too. That's a fucking cool shirt.
Anytime.
Great fucking art on there. It reminded me of just an old fucking death metal shirt. It was long sleeve.
That's exactly what I'm going for with this shit. You know, I want to lead horror stuff, horror type of shit, you know, so.
Well, it works, man. It's very good. And I'm going to keep referring to you as the Casey Kasem of fucking YouTube death metal. Because I had one of your videos playing the other day and had some people over, and they were like, man, that guy has such a good calming voice when he's talking.
It all depends on the channel, right? Like your channel, I like to watch because number one, you're entertaining to watch. Number two, you put up all these visuals on your channel, like movie clips and sound clips and stuff. But like a channel like J-Dog's, like I'll listen to that in the car, like when I'm commuting to work, you know, like because he's just talking, you know. So I like to listen to him talk, and then like your channel, I like to watch you because you're so animated and shit, and it makes it, you know, that much more fun to watch, you know. So
I appreciate it. Well, likewise here. Not just fucking stroking you off. It's your channel is fucking good. So there's only a handful of ones that I watch regularly, and yours is definitely on that list for sure now.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
But yeah, fucking hail Satan.
You want to take us out?
All right. Run, you motherfucker!
Mordant Rhed, check them out, man. Thanks for coming on. This was so much fun. Let's do it again, man. I had a blast just talking to you. Know.
Yeah, we could do it again and maybe get on a specific topic about something.
Like we talked about. Maybe we'll do a Godzilla video. I'll get on that with you guys. I love that shit. So
actually, I'm talking about El Necron, his channel. He wanted to do that. Maybe I'm sure he'd be happy to have you on there too, because that's a good topic to talk about, Godzilla.
That'd be fun. Thanks for hanging with us on the Realms of Metal. We'll see you guys again real soon.